The BodyArmor Pro Series is back once again, and about a month ago we ran a race on a short mile-long flat oval. We get to do it again, and we're here in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. The first time ever we have ever done a race at the Milwaukee Mile here on AG the channel, and we're leading up to a very big week in Daytona. We start off a race every single day from now until Sunday here on AG the channel. We started all off with this one, the Wisconsin 80K. It's race 15 of the season, still 11 races left to go for these guys. But Blaine Keys has a 74-point lead coming into this one, and he starts in the third position as we run 50 laps here at the Milwaukee Mile in the 2025 BodyArmor Pro Series. Hello everybody, this is AG here, and welcome to the Milwaukee Mile here in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. The first time we have ever been here on AG the channel, and we're excited for this one, and I think Logan Williams is excited for this one as well, this being his home racetrack, of course. Well, this and Road America, but first time here at the Milwaukee Mile, and it's a similar track to New Hampshire, but it does have some different characteristics. And Caleb, how do we think this race is going to play out? We saw how crazy Nazareth got, though that is a very different type of racetrack than this one in terms of its shape and its character. How do you think these BodyArmor Pro Series drivers are going to tackle this Milwaukee Mile here today with no pit stops in this race, unlike that race we had in Nazareth?
This is definitely going to be a very interesting race that we've got here today. Of course, like you mentioned, the first time we have ever been to the Milwaukee Mile here on the channel, but I can definitely say that this track can produce some very, very interesting racing, and definitely expecting some interesting racing here tonight. Definitely excited to see how it'll all play out here for our first trip here to the Magic Mile here in Milwaukee. But yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun, that is for certain, and really looking forward to seeing how it'll all play out.
It's going to be a fun one here today. I have a feeling we're going to have a relatively competitive race in this one. So we'll just have to see how it all ends up shaking out. We did not have a competitive race last time out in the BodyArmor Pro Series at Kentucky. Ledovic Shred, who starts on the pole position, as you see right there on the 00, led every single lap and won by 6.5 seconds. I don't think it's going to quite be like that here today at Milwaukee, but we'll just have to see. This is a new racetrack that these drivers have really not seen before on the channel, and we'll have to see which one ends up having the best car and the best driving ability in this one here today. As I mentioned, Blaine Keys has a 74-point lead, but he's still far from winning this championship. Still 11 races left to go. We still have a couple of, as a matter of fact, we still have 4 Super Speedway races left on the schedule, I think. It's then Joltis coming up, Coca-Cola, Double Dega as well, so there's a lot that can happen in those races. But he starts third here today and looking to get his 4th win of the season. He won the first 3 races of the season. He's yet to go to victory lane since Daytona back in February. But he's got a good shot at getting win number 4 here today at the Milwaukee Mile. Stuart Gratton is 74 points behind, and it's Logan Williams and Leonard Kochmer tied for the 3rd position in the standings, both 78 points behind. Our pole sitter, Ledovic Shret, 81 points behind, and Rogel Doran, 87 points behind. It's very, very tight for that 2nd spot in the points, but not very tight for Blaine Keys, who... if you look at the standings, let me see if I can do the math correctly here. 2nd through 19th are closer to each other than 1st and 2nd are. That's how much of a point lead that Blaine Keys has in the series coming into this one here today. We'll have to see if he extends that going into our next race a month from now at New Hampshire. So we got Milwaukee here, and then in the middle of September is going to be our next race with the A Series. We got New Hampshire coming up, so 2 very similar racetracks, one right after another here in the BodyArmor Pro Series. So if you're going to be good here, it's probably a good thing for New Hampshire in a month's time. So these guys have an opportunity of really building those points up going in through the fall stretch of the season. Ledovic Shret starts on the pole position in the 00. Alongside her, it's the 78 of Andrew Miller, the winner at Nazareth Speedway. You got Blaine Keys and Nicholas Sambadio in row number 2. Stuart Gratton and Matt Tuck in row number 3. Logan Williams and Thomas Troxel in row number 4. Then Isaac Nichols to the inside of Jack Haas in row number 5. And take a look at the rest of the starting positions. You got Rogel Dorn there on the outside lane a little ways back. And then Leonard Kochmer is one of those guys who's up there in the standings all the way back in 23rd. Not a good starting position for Kochmer in this one here today. We'll just have to see how that ends up shaking out for the driver, the number 46, as this race goes along. But we know that Ladovic Shret's got a good opportunity going back-to-back, and she's going to lead us off to the green flag here in the Wisconsin 80K. And Caleb, we got a lot of strong drivers starting up front, a lot of guys who have gone to victory lane this season, like Logan Williams, like Blaine Keys, like Ladovic Shret, like Stuart Gratton, that whole inside lane. Andrew Miller's gone the victory lane. Matt Tuck's gone the victory lane this season. Any of those guys getting it done, or will it be somebody else here in Wisconsin?
I keep been saying it's a first here on the channel, our first trip here to the Milwaukee Mile, and I think what a story it would be if the hometown hero got the win here in the first race here on the channel. Give me Logan Williams to get it done here tonight from the Milwaukee Mile.
We'll have to see if Logan Williams can, in fact, win at his home racetrack, one of his 2 home racetracks, this in Road America. Not too far from each other here. Logan Williams, of course, a driver who is in championship contention, especially if something happens to Blaine Keys. You know, we say that he's got a 74-point lead. No one's catching up to Blaine anytime soon, but with 11 races left to go, these drivers can definitely chip into that, especially if Blaine finds himself further back in the pack in some of these races. That's not the case here today, as he starts third behind Ladovic Shret, who's going to lead us off to the green flag. And here we go. We're green flag racing, one of the oldest racetracks in America. Well, Blaine Keys wasted absolutely no time in getting to the inside of Ladovic Shret for the race lead here in this Wisconsin 80K. What a run for Blaine, who, even though he's got a 74-point lead, has not gone the victory lane in this series since the Daytona 125K back in February. Stuart Gratton looking to the inside of Ladovic Shret there for second. Andrew Miller, Isaac Nichols. Now, unlike Nazareth, there are no pit stops in this race. They're going to run this whole thing out without the need to come down for fuel or tires, so you got to make those positions up now, or otherwise you're not going to get anything here today. And of course, only the top 10 finishers receive championship points in this series. Isaac Nichols to the inside of Andrew Miller. That's for the 4th position. And last time we had Ladovic Shret lead every single lap. Well, she's struggling just a little bit under fire there from Nichols for that 3rd position.
Let's start here from Milwaukee. Like you said, Blaine Keys got an absolutely incredible start to that race. Got through the gears probably about perfectly. Took it 3 wide there into turn number 1 and was able to clear Shret and Miller there on the opening lap of the race. He now holds the race lead. That was a fantastic run there by Blaine Keys, but now he's potentially under fire here from the 35 of Stuart Gratton right on the back bumper of that 14. You got side by side back there for the 3rd position between Nichols and Shret, and we got a lot of shuffling already going on here throughout the field. You've already seen a couple instances of even 3 wide here at Milwaukee, and I think that's probably where we could definitely see some trouble as well. If these guys do go 3 wide, because it seems they like to try and squeeze each other a little bit when that does happen, so definitely need to probably try and keep an eye out for that. But a lot of passing going on as here comes Miller diving into the inside of Isaac Nichols here in 3 and 4, looking to take that 3rd position away.
And Andrew Miller won our last mile-long flat track here in the BodyArmor Pro Series in Nazareth, so no surprise to see him run well on this one. Didn't have the best start from the outside lane, but he's rebounded fairly well. And Stuart Gratton is all over the back bumper of this 14. Has not found a lane to the inside of him quite yet. And we saw very similar racing on Saturday at the Richmond Raceway. Great race there, Richmond, by the way. And we got a great race going on right here in Milwaukee as well, with Andrew Miller right on the back bumper there of Stuart Gratton now, and they're all on each other up front here. Some very tight racing. It was not like this at Kentucky. This is very close racing here at the Milwaukee Mile. Vinny Scholl's in the top 10, and then you got Thomas Trossel, Nicholas Sambios fallen to the 10th position after starting in the 4th position here today. Tough break there for Nicholas, but he's finally found himself back on the inside lane. How about Thomas Troxel's run last week at Kentucky? And Stuart Gratton getting passed by Andrew Miller there for the 2nd position. And Miller might go for Blaine Keys here in just a moment. He's got a nose to the inside of our race leader.
And a dive into turn 1 by Andrew Miller, side by side now with the 14 of Blaine Keys. We saw these two have an absolute ungodly scrap at the Kentucky Speedway last time out, and now Miller takes the lead away from Keys here on lap number 8. Keys sent it in there on the outside, trying to fend off the 88 of Isaac Nichols, but he's also going to try and get to the inside there as well. Ludovic Charette, the 0-0, potentially looking to follow suit here, as now Keys and Grattan there stuck up on the outside lane. But Miller with a great move there goes out to the race lead, and these guys are going to continue to scrap at it behind him for what they can.
Isaac Nichols there on the inside of Blaine Keys. He's also got a very fast race car here today as well, and Blaine Keys slipping back. Stuart Grattan slipping back to 5th, and those are a lot of points that you lose if you fall from 1st to 5th, or from 2nd to 5th for that example. And Blaine's also losing some points here, but here we go once again for the race lead, and Isaac Nichols back to the inside. Not back to the inside, he's going to the inside of Andrew Miller for the race lead, and Isaac Nichols looking for his first win of the season here in the BodyArmor Pro Series. Looking to take this away from Andrew Miller here on lap number 10.
Outside, Miller trying to roll the outside there through 3 and 4. Actually got a pretty decent run there on the outside lane, trying to hold off the 88 of Nichols, but he's going to send it there into turn number 1. Going to try and stay to the inside. We're still side by side for this race lead. We're seeing some fantastic battles here on the racetrack. Still side by side for 3rd, as well behind them is Charette and Keys now going at it. Of course, Grattan now down into 5th, and here comes Matt Tuck and Nathan Stapleton into the fray as well, looking to try and get themselves up into this lead battle, but come to complete lap number 11. We're still side by side up here for the lead. Charette trying to clear Keys back there, but Miller's doing a really good job up here rolling that outside. Charette slides up a little bit there in 1 and 2. Grattan maybe tried peeking to the inside there. Gonna stay in line though, but Miller on the outside, he cleared him there, but Nichols is having none of it. He sends it down to the inside. Fantastic stuff here for the lead here from Milwaukee.
And they are continuing to battle it out for the race lead here, and they're still side by side. Now Grattan's gotten around Blaine Keys, who's fallen to 5th. And both Ludovic and Stewart still have a shot at this win, especially if these guys continue to go side by side. That's going to allow Ludovic and Stewart to close in on this. Got Matt Tuck there, Nathan Stapleton, 6th and 7th, Troxel, Vinny Scholes, and Nicholas Samedeo in the points-paying positions. And how about the driver started 23rd? Leonard Kochman now up to the 11th position, trying to get some points and trying to do anything to close in. But, I mean, they're still side by side here in Milwaukee. These two lanes are incredibly equal between Isaac Nichols and Andrew Miller. Got Blaine looking back on Stewart there for the 4th position. And I tell you what, some great racing here at the Milwaukee Mile here today. And Andrew Miller giving it all he can on that outside lane, but Nichols giving it all he can on the inside lane. He's yet to lead a lap in this race. Trying to get around this 78 to finally get one. We'll see if he gets an opportunity to do so, but they remain side by side, and they've been side by side for about 5 or 6 laps now in this Wisconsin 80K.
Split up a little bit there from the bottom going into 1 and 2, but Miller might have gone a bit wide there off of turn 2. Nichols still to the inside. He's got a nose out front here going into 3 and 4. Miller again trying to send it around the outside. Nichols going to roll the bottom here. We'll see if he can maybe get him at the line. But Miller with a good run on the outside holds it at the line for the time being. These two still side by side for this race lead. Nichols, he got him there. He got him on the inside. And Isaac Nichols finally clears for the race lead, and what a battle that was.
And this race is far from over for the rest of these guys, though, as well. Andrew Miller now right back to the inside, and trying to close back in on Nichols. Ludovic Shred had an opportunity. Now Grattan trying to find something on the outside lane. There is definitely grip up there on that second lane. A very flat racetrack. I believe we only got 6 degrees of banking in the corners here, so you really have to slow it down going through these corners. And Grattan utilizing that higher arc to get a bit of an advantage on his driver over there in the Wall Cup Series, Ludovic Charette. Not able to clear Ludovic at the moment, but Isaac Nichols leading this field. Andrew Miller is not going to give it up easy, though. He's still right on the back bumper of this 88 machine. Tuck and Stapleton, Troxel, Vinny Scholes, and now you got Rogel Dorn all of a sudden looking for a top 10 run. Rogel is 6th in the standings, 87 behind, but he's still running behind Blaine Keys. This is good for Stuart Grattan if he can finish ahead of Blaine Keys. Any chunk of points that he can get on that 14 is going to help in terms of trying to get a championship here in the Pro Series, and still 11 races left to go versus the 3 that we have in the Wall Cup Series, the 2 that we have in the Sprint Series, and the 1 that we have in IndyCar finale on Saturday. Turkey Hill Truck Series openers. Well, you got a busy week ahead of you, Caleb. We're looking forward to what you're bringing to the channel this week. Always one of our favorite weeks of the year Because we got the trucks, we got Lenovo Pro Series starting up, and then we also, of course, got the Valvoline 400 at Daytona and the IndyCar finale at Pocono. And we got so many great races, and we've had a great race so far here in the Pro Series at Milwaukee. And this great race is far from over because Andrew Miller might have a shot back to the inside of Nichols here in just a moment.
Absolutely, we've seen a fantastic race so far, and we're still not quite halfway through yet as Miller still all over the back bumper of the 88 of Isaac Nichols. But now we have a new challenger. Stuart Gratton in the 35 is also now up here, potentially trying to find a way around the 78 of Andrew Miller. Maybe even trying to have a shot at this race lead. We talk about any chunk of points that Gratton can get right now would definitely be a big help to him. Well, a race win for him would be an even bigger help to that 35, so he's probably going to try to do anything in his power to get that race win, because like you said, any points matter, and the higher up you finish, of course, the more points you get. So still have at least a decent ways left through the season, so as long as Gratton can at least keep consistently outscoring him, then its championship isn't wrapped up quite yet. It's definitely going to take a lot to overcome the point lead that 14 has, but anything helps, and Gratton looking to potentially take advantage here.
And Gratton has been up there with Blaine in a lot of these races, but the thing is, Blaine just went on a tear at the beginning of the season to really put himself in this position. As far as I know, and they could be wrong about this, because I know Logan Williams was actually kind of up there at a point 6 races after, well, 6 races into the season, but I can't remember if he actually ever held the points lead. I don't think he did. I'm pretty sure Blaine has been the points leader this entire season, from the first race at South Boston back in January until now. And 74 points is a large chunk, but he is going to lose points on that points lead the way they currently run with Gratton and where he is. And keep in mind, too, our next race, and though it's about a month from now when we head to New Hampshire, this race determines the starting lineup for that, and Blaine's down there in 7th. We got Andrew Miller and Isaac Nichols with the fastest 2 times, and Stuart Gratton there in 6th right now with that fastest lap. And I don't think that that's going to change, because the tire wear does come into effect here in Milwaukee, and that's pretty much going to be it in terms of the fastest lap in this race. So it's looking good for Andrew Miller to start on pole for New Hampshire, which, as we have seen here today, and as we saw at Richmond as well on Saturday, done pretty well on these short, flat tracks, and he's got a good shot still at winning this race. But Isaac Nichols trying to pull away all he can, but hasn't had a lead any more than 0.2 of a second. I don't think anyone's had a lead more than 0.2 of a second, and we're 25 laps into this thing here at the Milwaukee Mile.
Halfway home here through Milwaukee, like you said, it's been a close-knit battle throughout the field, especially for this race lead. We've got a lot of shuffling going on back here still, though, as Roble Dorn is on the move there in that 4 machine, looking to get past the 64 here of Benny Scholes, and trying to follow suit is the 46 of Leonard Kochmer, which, judging from where he started, he's done a fantastic job at recovering so far here in this race, looking to climb here inside of the top 10. Thomas Trox also having a good run there in the number 10, looking to get some more points after a very good run, I believe, at the Kentucky Speedway. Side by side back through for the final spot here in the top 10. Leonard Kochmer looking to get in. But up front here, it's still Andrew Miller all over the back bumper, just looking for any kind of advantage he can get here on the 88 of Isaac Nichols, who's doing a great job right now at just holding on to that race lead and defending against the 78 of Andrew Miller.
And Stuart Gratton's hoping they get side by side again. That's going to give Stuart an opportunity of closing in on one of these guys and having a shot at the win. Blaine's pulled away from Matt Tuck. Matt still has his pseudo teammate of Nathan Stapleton, his driver in this series, and we're going to be getting rid of the teams for next year. It's going to be driver-only invites for the Pro Series next year, so no signups next year. You're going to get an invitation if you win the championship in the series or win a big race, and some guys have already clinched spots into that, of course. You may end up getting one, Caleb, if you win the BodyArmor Light Showdown. I think you lead in the points in that right now, so good luck with that. That means you won't be able to call any of these races, but we got to get you in something. We got to get you in something next year. We took your team away in Wall Cup Series, and I feel bad enough about that, so we got to get you in something next year. Andrew Miller is trying to get in something next year as well, and we'll see where he ends up in the Wall Cup Series. Will he stick with Durrani possibly? He's had a lot of success with those guys, but hey, when you have success like that with a team that has not historically run too well, a lot of teams are going to take notice. So, see if that ends up being the case. But Andrew is taking advantage of his good runs in the Walla Cup Series and his good runs here in the Pro Series. And Miller's only 109 points off of Blaine Keys, and he would close in the way they currently run as well. And he's still very much in contention for this championship. And you got to consider those super speedways that we have coming up. First one's going to be Double Dega. That's going to be a wild exchange in that one because it's 2 Talladega races and anyone can win at Talladega. And then you also have Zenjoltis mixed in there. And then you got the Coca-Cola 100K, Thanks 7500 week. That's also going to be a wild race. And then our finale at Homestead Miami Speedway, we're going to be going to Atlanta. I don't think I've mentioned that yet. We're going to be going to Atlanta, and we're also going to be going to Martinsville as well. So a couple of races that we've added on late in the season is Andrew Miller has gotten a great run there with the exit of turn number 2, and he's going to peek down to the inside, and here we go again for the race lead here in this Wisconsin 80K. And we're going to go side by side again. Miller really hugging that inside lane, hugging that curb there, and trying to remain side by side with the 88. He might lead this lap. He's not going to, but he's got a shot at taking it back away from Isaac Nichols here on lap 32.
Here we go once again up front here for the lead. That was a great rally off of 2 by Andrew Miller, and he's already going to clear the 88 of Nichols here.
He's got it.
He's already got it there in that 78. That was a fantastic rally there by Miller, and now he's got the lead. Question is, can he hold on to it? We know that 88 of Nichols is fast as well. Here comes Stuart Gratton waiting in the wings as well. Still got a decent amount of time left in this race. I'm sure it is far from over.
We've only had 2 drivers all season who have won multiple races. That's Blaine Keys and Rogel Dorn. And we have not had a multi-time winner since Rogel Dorn won at Oregon back in May. Granted, we haven't had too many races throughout the summer. We're going to have a lot more races in the fall, as this is going to essentially be the main series that I'm going to be doing in the fall because Caleb's going to be doing trucks, which start on Thursday. We're very excited for that. Featherlight Trailers 250 coming up Thursday night. A lot of these guys are in that, and I'm excited to see how that season goes with the new ratings format and all that. You're going to be giving me some good intel on that. That's why we're getting rid of your team. You're going to have the first taste of what that ratings format's going to be like, and we plan on using something very similar in the Walla Cup Series next year. But regardless of the fact, Andrew Miller looking to become only the 3rd multi-time winner this season in the BodyArmor Pro Series. Stuart Gratton also looking to do the same. Isaac Nichols, on the other hand, looking for his first win of the season. He's not had a good season, a good run here in the Pro Series. Only 34 total points in 14 races for Nichols. Kind of been a struggle for him here. A bit unlike how it's gone in the Walla Cup Series. The Richmond did not go his way, unfortunately. This is the biggest lead we've seen all day. Andrew Miller's got a half second on Isaac Nichols right now. Gratton was unable to get around that 88 machine. And we'll have to see how the rest of this field stacks up. Rogel Dorn, Thomas Troxel, Leonard Kochman, they've all closed in the Stapleton and Matt Tuck right here. And Rogel's got a fast car as well on this 4 machine to the inside of Troxel. And may actually get one on Stapleton here in turn number 3. Not going to quite get it there. But I'm intrigued to see if anyone gets to Blaine. And he loses a couple more spots. Because Stewart is only 2 positions ahead. And while that's still a gain in the points, it's a marginal gain for what he needs if he's going to have a shot at this championship.
Definitely we'll have to see if we see any big shuffling going on back there as the latter part of this race comes to a close. But I'll tell you what, that 78 of Andrew Miller, he might be turning on the jets at the right time. He's trying to pull away here with the lead. Definitely the biggest lead we've seen so far here tonight, but still it's only about a half of a second, but it looks like it might have grown that time around a little bit. And actually, no, it stays about the exact same. So these guys definitely running some good laps here, but Miller has gotten himself out to a decent-sized lead in that 78, so as long as he can keep doing what he's doing, he's looking pretty good here from Milwaukee. But I'd say it's definitely heating up back there around where Tuck, Stapleton, Dorn, Troxel, and Kochmer are, and all those guys looking to potentially close in on the 14 of Blaine Keys, and if they can, that could be huge for the 35 of Gratton.
Well, you know who might get to Blaine Keys? Rogel Dorn in the 4.
Ooh.
He's gotten around Nathan Stapleton, has gotten around, or will get around Matt Tuck right here. Troxel as well, also moving his way through the field in the 10 machine. Great run for Troxel in this race once again. Who really, he really struggled early on in the season. Only 3 races where he's actually gained any points, and one of those was last time out in Kentucky. I remember the GNC stunt road race that we had. That was one that he got. And Rogel Dorn, I think he's going to get around Blaine Keys as well. That 4 machine, one of the fastest cars on the racetrack at the moment. And Andrew Miller looking not only to win this race, but also win the pole for our next race in New Hampshire, which is a very similar racetrack to this. And Andrew's in a great position to move up in the standings, and he's also going to gain on Blaine Keys. As a matter of fact, he's not going to pass Stuart Grattan at this point. He's too far behind Grattan to have an opportunity, but he's going to move up in the standings, and he's going to have a legitimate shot at this championship if he wins this race and then ends up winning again in New Hampshire in a month's time, because that could really give him an advantage going through. Martinsville later on in the season may also be an advantage for him. We'll have to see if that ends up being the case. Stapleton slipping back. Troxel moved up to the 8th position. And now Vinnie Scholl's trying to move her way into the points there, trying to get around Leonard Kochmer for that position right there. Unable to get it right now. And Stewart's been trying to get around Isaac Nichols this whole time. It's now over a second for Andrew Miller in the 78 machine, who clearly has the fastest car on the track at the moment. Maybe outside of Rogel Dorn. We'll see if Rogel can close in on Blaine. But I know Stewart would love to get around Isaac Nichols, get some more points here, and try to gain a little bit more on Blaine Keys in this championship.
Definitely trying to find any way around that he possibly can here on Nichols, but Nichols doing a good job at holding his ground for the time being. Andrew Miller, though, continues to pull away, now over a second lead to the 88 of Isaac Nichols. Ludovic Charette still chilling there back there in the 4th position. Blaine Keys 5th, but here comes the 4 Rogel Dorn. That 4 car is fast, and I wouldn't be surprised if he got by Blaine Keys before the end of this race. We'll have to see if Keys getting stuck on the outside could maybe draw in guys like Matt Tuck, Thomas Troxel, and all those guys back there. We'll have to see. But still, a fantastic race here from Milwaukee coming to a close, and what a performance it's been from Miller. Logan Williams looks like he might have gotten the wall back there, but Nichols closed in quite a bit that last time around.
He did. He still
it
got
was about
enough time.
1.2 seconds. Now it's back down to under a second.
And I'm wondering if this is, the type of racetrack you don't want to be the race leader in. We'll see what the difference is this time around. He lost a little bit right there, so maybe just a fluke right there. Andrew Miller looking at his 2nd win of the season, got the win at Nazareth, which is a very similar racetrack to this one. He was very strong there, very strong here in Milwaukee, and you'd be led to believe that he'd be very strong in New Hampshire as well. Very similar racetracks. And he's got 5 laps to go to get it here in the Wisconsin 80K for his 2nd race victory of the season. And Stewart's just still trying to get all he can on Nichols here. He got a really good run into the corner right there. He's all over the back bumper. Will he get enough momentum off the exit to peek down to the inside? Doesn't look like he's going to get it yet. And now Blaine's actually got into the back bumper of Ludovic right here. And if you're Stewart, you do not want to see Blaine get that 4th position, because that's going to be minimal point gain, only about 3 points if that ends up happening. Stewart's hoping that Rogel gets around Blaine and he gets around Isaac Nichols in these last 4 laps here at the Milwaukee Mile. How about Andrew Miller? And Durrani Racing, they showed up at Richmond as well in the Wawa Cup Series, and they've given Miller and Zeidel a couple of great cars here in the Pro Series. As a matter of fact, it's be 3 out of the last 4 races in the Pro Series that Durrani Racing has won, with Zeidel getting that win at Watkins Glen, and then Andrew Miller looking to get his 2nd win of the season. Also got that win in Nazareth. Tires are just so worn out at this point that these guys are having a lot of trouble getting any advantage on these guys, and they kind of just stay in line. Though I say that, Matt Tuck slipped back in the 54 machine. Stapleton got around him and Troxel. Blaine Keys is going for it on Ludovic, and that's big in terms of the championship. Grattan still behind Nichols, and Blaine Keys trying to take this away from the 0-0. We'll just have to see if Ludovic holds that inside lane to her advantage, or the outside lane, I should say. 2 laps to go for Andrew Miller. 1.09 seconds. Unless something drastic happens, he's going to get this race victory. And Stewart is hoping, and Blaine's gotten around Ludovic, but Rogel Dorn might get around Blaine here. Will Rogel try to peek to the inside there? Him turn number 3. Not going to be able to have an advantage right there. White flag in the air for Andrew Miller here at the Milwaukee Mile, and Stewart trying to gain all he can. Not able to do so. Blaine will officially clear Ludovic for that position.
See if Grattan can maybe make one last charge here into 3 and 4. I just don't know if he has enough of a run. Like you said, these tires really worn out. He's going to try to go for it, but it doesn't look like it's going to quite happen. But here comes Dorn, looking to try and take the spot away. But meanwhile, what a drive it's been by Andrew Miller.
He's got it.
And he's going to take the checkered flag.
And Dorn trying to get on Blaine Keys. It's not going to be enough.
Not quite.
And it's only 1 point separating Stuart Grattan and Blaine Keys. Blaine Keys will finish in 4th. That's a couple more points that he's not going to lose in this race. How about Nathan Stapleton coming alive at the end there? Even though he's going to finish 7th, he almost got to the inside of Ladovic, Leonard Kochmer, Thomas Troxel, Matt Tuck with the last point here today. But how about Andrew Miller, only our 3rd different driver this season to win multiple races here in the BodyArmor Pro Series. And he gets it done in our first ever race at the Milwaukee Mile here today. And what a race it was. That was a lot of fun. A lot more competitive than our last race at Kentucky, I'll tell you that much. He'll also start on the pole in New Hampshire. Isaac Nichols will be alongside him. Ladovic and Troxel will be row 2. How about Justin Zeidel getting the 5th position there alongside Stuart Grattan in row 3 for New Hampshire. And then Blaine Keys, Leonard Kochmer, Rogaldorn, Matt Tuck. That will be the top 10 starting positions for the New Hampshire 80K in about a month's time, mid-September. See the rest of the fastest laps right there, which will determine the starting lineup for our next race here in the BodyArmor Pro Series. Well, Caleb, that was a fun race. That was a great race, a great race track here at the Milwaukee Mile. And like I said, one of the oldest. It's older than the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. I think it is the oldest operating racetrack in America, if I'm not mistaken. It's definitely up there, been around for about 120 years. How about Andrew Miller getting it done here today at the Milwaukee Mile, and that's another 25 points for him, and that is a 13-point gain on Blaine Keys, so he's going to be within 100 points of Blaine Keys, but Blaine still, once again, this is what he's done all season. That's his 11th top 5 of the season, and, that consistency throughout this whole stretch has gotten to this point, but he is going to lose a couple of points to Stuart Grattan right there, and that point lead's going to be a little bit less going into our next race in New Hampshire.
Definitely, that was a very fun race here from the Milwaukee Mile. We saw a lot of great battles, especially up front for the race lead. That battle that Miller and Nichols had at the early stage of the race was absolutely spectacular, and even still had a lot of battles going on at the end of the race while the tires are probably screaming out for help. We still saw a lot of battles going on, and in the end, Miller got back by Nichols after everything was said and done, and just absolutely started gapping the 88, turned on the jets at the right time, and what a win for that 78 of Andrew Miller and Durrani Racing. You absolutely love to see it. But a very strong debut race here on the channel for the Milwaukee Mile. That was a lot of fun, and
it was.
Who knows? Maybe we'll have to keep this track in consideration. We'll have to see.
We'll just have to see. We'll build those schedules here very soon. Just waiting for NASCAR to release their schedules, and then we're going to have some fun with that. Hey, maybe a Wawa National Series race. What do you think, Caleb? I think this is a great track for something like that. But hey,
maybe.
We will see how the next race goes in the Pro Series, because it's going to be very similar to this, though New Hampshire's going to play out a little bit differently. Still different characteristics in that race. Going to be a lot of fun seeing if anyone can get to Andrew Miller, who seems to be the king of these flat mile-long racetracks. And Andrew Miller in a good position to possibly be second in points at the end of the season, because I don't think anyone's going to get to Blaine Keys. But hey, still 10 races left to go here in the Pro Series. There's a lot of things that can happen between now and the finish of the season. And Blaine, all he has to do is not finish in 3 races, and Andrew Miller, Stuart Grattan win 3 races in a row, which is very possible. And that championship lead is evaporated, and that's the nature of this championship format and what can happen with it. So we'll just have to see how it all ends up shaking out. But of course, focus shifts now to the rest of the week. We're excited. Lenovo Pro Series tomorrow night at Daytona. Hers Sprint Series Wednesday night. Turkey Hill Truck Series Thursday night. Valvoline 400 in the Wawa Cup Series Friday night. Haas World Championship 200K. The crown a champion in the IndyCar Series at Pocono on Saturday. And then on Sunday, it's the Celsius Tropical Vibe 400 in the Wawa Cup Series. Caleb, we're going to all lose our minds. All of us are doing 2 races each. I'm actually technically doing 3 if you count this one. We're all doing 2 races each, but I tell you what, we are excited for this week. This is going to be a lot of fun. What are you most looking forward to this week with all the great action we've got going on across all the series here on AG of the channel?
Is it corny to just say everything? I mean, we got a lot of great stuff coming up and a lot of very exciting things. Like you said, we got the opener for the Turkey Hill Truck Series. Really looking forward to that. I cannot wait to see how the Truck Series plays out, especially with the new ratings format and everything. It's going to be so much fun.
And you get to do it,
and then, of course, yeah, makes it even better. And then, of course, yeah, like you said, we got the IndyCar finale coming up. That race is always usually a ton of fun. That was absolutely wild last season. I still don't think I could have scripted probably a better final 20 laps than that. And yeah, definitely looking forward to that race again this year as well. We got a very interesting championship battle going on over there this time around as well. And definitely looking forward to seeing how that'll all play out. And of course, we got the BodyArmor Pro Series coming up. I can definitely tell you this race was a lot of fun. And then, of course, we got the Wild Cup Series. That has been a spectacular season here so far, and cannot wait to see how that closes out as well, and cannot wait to see how everything will go. But a lot of fun races coming up here on the channel. Like you said, I really enjoy this time as well. It's always usually very exciting, and just cannot wait to see how everything will play out.
Yeah, the end of August is a special time of year here on AG the channel, and we got the crossover that goes on, the end of the Wawa Cup Series, but then the beginning of the Truck Series as well, which is also one of our favorite series here on the channel, and I'm looking forward to what Caleb's going to do with that. He's going to cook. It's going to be fun just watching it as a fan this year. I have no stake in it at all whatsoever, well, other than, how the ratings are going to play out, and, we'll touch on that. I'll get your feedback. We'll see how it goes for the Cup Series and National Series, but on top of that, next Friday night, we got the owners signups for the Wawa Cup Series as well. We got 3 owners teams that are available for the 2026 season, and then we're, of course, going to fill up all 18 of the National Series teams as well. So if you want to own a team next year, next Friday night, not this Friday, but the Friday after, August 29th, at 7 p.m. Eastern Time in the Discord. That's where you got to go for signups outside of the Sprint Series and Pro Series, Lenovo Pro Series. That's where you go for signups. And we're excited to see which teams we get in the Wawa Cup Series next season. And then Silly Season's going to start just around the corner as well. And let me tell you, it's going to get silly. Make it too silly. We'll just have to see. Andrew Miller wins it here at the Milwaukee Mile, and that's his second win of the season. We'll see you guys our next race in the middle of September. I believe it's September 18th, either 18th or 19th. I think it actually might be September 19th when we have ourselves the New Hampshire 80K, and we're looking forward to that one. We've got a lot to look forward to until then as well here on AG the channel, and it's going to be a lot of great stuff coming up here in the next few weeks. Thank you guys so much for watching once again. On behalf of Caleb Rose, congratulations to Andrew Miller. Here are the points for the BodyArmor Pro Series after 15 races, and I will see you guys later.